that a girl or a guy?
It's a girl, I think. It looks like a girl.
I think it's a girl. It's got kind of boobs. I mean, it could just be the breastplate, but...
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like, I don't want to say it is,
but they're more round than normal, so
yeah.
I'm pretty sure those are boobs.
You look lost. I stare back at the strange woman in puzzlement.
It's a woman.
Then I remember this is the first stage of my mission. I'm supposed to meet with another FOE and reply something specific. My map is made of stars. So, you're the greenie who grew up on this sun-forsaken crap hole. I'm going to be polite. And you're Muriel, my partner? Don't get ahead of yourself. It'll be years before you're qualified to serve as my partner. Oh, my mistake. I thought you were my age. Hard to tell through that ugly mask you're wearing. Age isn't the issue here, short straps. If I could take off this gas mask and go an hour without puking my guts out, I'd be the one in that stupid little cloak. Too bad. Looks like I'm the one who gets to play hero. Good luck with that. I've been watching the Eastern Hospital, where the prototype is currently stationed. It's heavily guarded by Gorgans and O's, or whatever the guards are called here. Why the crooks are they called O's anyway? It's their cipher. Everyone here is born with one. Mostly they're just alphabetic letters that stand for a certain occupation. The O's are officers. And you were a P, is that right? A politician? Who knows what it stands for? Politician? Prince? Pisshead? Anyway, yes. Didn't Amalek brief you on this stuff? Yeah, sure. I just find it hard to believe that a greenie like you used to be one of the most powerful members of this board-hacked community. Well, get over it. We have a job to do, and I'm the only one who can do it, whether you like it or not. Well said, Miss P. I like the sound of that. Can you help me infiltrate the Eastern Hospital? Getting in is up to you. I can only help you get out. I've been over the blueprints backwards and forwards. I've memorized every hallway and air duct like they're burned into my eyelids. But the sad truth is that the only way you're getting close to that prototype is with an officer's permission. They have to obey Ps, right? So you'll have to convince them that you're still a P in every sense of the letter, you might say. Is that a problem, Greenie? I've been gone for 6 years. If someone recognizes me, they'll have a crapload of questions. Then you'd better prepare some answers. Lies will only get me so far. They have the technology here to dig through my memories. If the Q commands it... Oh. Wow. And he would if he saw me again. The Q? You knew him? Cypher Ps have the privilege of conversing with the Q on a regular basis. And lucky me, I was one of his star pupils. If it comes to that, Blair, you know what you have to do. Right. Live free or die trying. Well then, you better make sure no one recognizes you. As strongly as I dread the task before me, I prefer to get it over with, so I don't waste any time. Muriel briefs me on the layout of the hospital and we determine my escape route. Then I muster all my courage and make my way towards the building. First, I must pass through the streets of Gemini itself. It is the capital city of Tabalai, but the only clue of the fact is the Q's tower stretching up towards the sky. The city itself is filthy and dilapidated, wow. Its people trudging across the stony streets with their heads drooping between their shoulders. When I was a young teenager who didn't know any better, I would waltz through these streets with pride. I was a P, a privileged member of society. I would relish the way people groveled at my feet and obeyed my every whim. I especially liked the travel with a Gorgan at my side, one of the large, cat-shaped robots that helped maintain order. I try to recall my old pride as I approach the task ahead. If I'm going to pass as a P, I need to act as if I've got the world under my heel with my boot. But Amalek was right. Acting that way, despite all my training in espionage, feels damn near impossible now that I know the truth. This whole world is just one big experiment being performed by Archon. Bleh. Even its dictator, the Q himself, is a puppet on Archon strings. The hospital isn't a place where the people get medicine. It's another tool used to force the ignorant civilians into their ongoing role as test subjects.
Stop right there!
I fight back a surge of panic and assume an affronted air as the officer approaches. I wait anxiously, though pretending to be impatient, while he pulls a small, binocular-shaped device from his belt and points it towards my face. A wave of warmth washes over my eyes. When it's finished, he's the one blinking with surprise.
Oh, Cypher Pete, forgive me. I've never seen you here before, so I didn't realize...
I'm here to see the prototype.
The prototype? But, if I may implore you, why now, sir? He just called her a sir.
Well, I guess it's like in the military, even if you're a female, they'll still call you sir. I guess.
I guess.
I don't know. I need an update on its progress, but that's really not your concern.
Of course. Well, I must remain at my post. But a Gorgan can take you to the prototype.
I forced down a gulp. Once upon a time, Gorgans were my favorite companions, but right now, they could be my undoing.
Is that a Gorgan?
I guess. Gorgans are large robots, shaped to resemble feline creatures, with mechanical brains connected to a complex network throughout all of Tabulai. They are programmed with sophisticated intelligence, but allowed no free will. They must obey the hierarchy of ciphers across Tabulai without exception. Gorgans don't need handheld scanners to read someone's identity. They can scan people's eyes just by holding their gaze. More importantly, they can then download all of that person's history from a central database. At one glance, they will know everything about my previous life in Tabulai, my rise amongst the P-ranks, my rebellious behavior, and then my sudden disappearance. The only question is, will they consider it significant? For now, I decide to hedge my bets on and avoid its gaze. Normally, it might insist on scanning me, but in this case, the officer already has.
Gorgan DD-1, lead the Cypher P to the prototype. I obey. Guess.
The Gorgan bows its head and shifts its giant body. Despite the awkward frame of metal comprising its skeleton, the robot moves with incredible grace. I can't help but admire the technology of Archon, I keep saying Akron. Even if I now know the extent of their evil, as I watch the Gorgan move, its metal legs pump down the hallway with surprisingly soft steps. I am following it quietly, starting to feel at ease, when suddenly it turns to look at me.
Cypher, Blair, Pollack.
What of it? Keep marching, Gorgan. Lead me to the prototype. Now!
I cannot obey. Years ago, Cypher Q issued a command to notify him of any information regarding your location. Informing.
No! Don't inform! Don't inform! My pleas to the robot are useless. A command from the Q overrides all else, even a P. At this very moment, DD-1 must be communicating to another Gorgan in the Q's palace. The second Gorgan will walk right up to the Q and tell him I'm here. I look around in panic. I just came out of 6 years of training in combat and espionage. I know quite a bit about defending myself, but not from a Gorgan. I look around the hallway for some weapon I might use against it, or a trap I could lay, but I already know it's hopeless. I've seen Gorgans crush humans beneath their huge metal paws. I've watched their steel fangs pierce heavy armor. I know that to physically engage with this monster is useless. I failed. My first mission for the FOEs, my one and perhaps only opportunity to prove myself to Amalek, ruined, over before it started. And yet the Gorgan's still standing there, not moving. I feel a faint stir of hope in my stomach. Well, if you have other things to do, then I'll just see myself to the prototype.
Unnecessary. The Q is currently occupied. We will inform him of your presence at the first opportunity. Meanwhile, I can show you to the prototype.
Fine. Just hurry it up. The Gorgan has no choice but to obey me until the Q deems otherwise, so it hastens onward. Meanwhile, my mind races further. Once the Q learns of my arrival, he will probably tell the Gorgans to escort me to the Q's tower so he can speak with me. Once that happens, any command the Q gives will override mine. so all I really need to do is buy more time. DD1, stop. The Gorgon stops. Look ahead. Do not move. I think back on my training. The FOEs taught me everything they knew about Archon technology. Moreover, I grew up around Gorgans. I know the shape and layout of their bodies like the back of my own hand. I should be able to figure this out. I move behind the Gorgon, then check to make sure no one's watching. I reach for the robot's skull. My fingers grope the metal frame and wires. I think I know what I need to disconnect. But first I need to remove a steel plate that appears welded into place. I reach under my cloak and pull out my V6 laser pistol. It's a FOE class weapon, which is why I need to keep it hidden, but I'm glad that I brought it. I can't think of anything else that will blast through this metal. I aim a blast, carefully enough to melt the plate, but not damage the interior, then pull the trigger. DD1 doesn't even move. The degree to which it will obey my command despite its intelligence is astonishing. I put away my laser pistol, still hot in my grip, and pull out a knife. With one quick swipe, I sever the wire connecting DD1 to every other Gorgon on the planet. Only then does the robot react.
Cypher P, I have lost my connection to the Gorgon network.
Never mind. Lead me to the prototype, now. It obeys, but I can see its eyes darting about, and its steps have lost its rhythm. The Gorgon is confused, and for as long as I've been around Gorgans, I don't think I've ever seen this one confused before. Or seen one confused.
I cannot feel the other Gorgans. I can no longer communicate with the Q through my fellow machines.
Good. You need only communicate with me.
I should surrender myself for maintenance.
No, DD1, I forbid you. I watch the Gorgon warily, even as it leads me onward. The robot is disoriented. For its entire existence, it has shared consciousness with thousands of fellow machines. Now it is alone for the very first time.
This is written very much like just like a novel in general.
Well, that's kind of what visual novels are.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of narration.
Yeah. But it's still a machine. It is still a machine, and it is programmed to do whatever a Cypher P commands. So before very long, we approach a lab room.
The prototype is beyond this door.
I see an electric lock on the door with the numeric keypad. Tell me the code.
Or is that one? I can't tell.
I can't tell either. I wait expectantly, but for a moment, DD1's mouth just hangs
Nope,
open.
that was an I. I read it right.
Yeah.
I do not remember. I can no longer access the servers storing that information.
Great. You've got to be kidding me.
Gorgons do not tell jokes, Cypher P.
I grind my teeth with irritation while trying to stay calm. My FOE training taught me to be calm, even in high-stress situations, but I've never been a particularly patient person, and I'm so close to the prototype I can already feel it in my grasp. I lift the laser pistol and blast 2 shots through the keypad. The door to the laboratory hisses open. I stand in the lab room. A terrible stench chokes me. The smell of fear, sweat, and pain. The ghostly sensations are contagious. I stare at the chair in the middle of the room and imagine the horrors that happened here at Archon tested one humid subject here after another, all of their precious prototype. We FOEs don't even know what it is capable of yet. We only know we have to take its power out of Archon's cruel clutches before it's complete. DD1, show me where the... A second Gorgon has followed me into the lab. DD1 remains out in the hall, still looking about in confusion.
Cypher Blair Pollock, Cypher Q has instructed us to detain you through any means necessary.
Crap! I should have guessed that another Gorgon would come to replace DD1 no matter what I did to it. Maybe I should play along and talk my way out of this. After all, I can be charming when the need arises.
So that's where that choice came in to play.
On my way to see the Q, I'll try to come up with a cover story. If it's convincing enough, maybe he'll trust me again. I'm still considering what to do when the Gorgon lunges towards me. I feel something like an explosion across my skull. and then I feel nothing.